Hi, guys. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Black Millennial Wife. I'm Jet.
And I am Avis. I'd like to roll into our Black business highlights. So I am going to highlight a blogger. Her name is Manda. Her Instagram is Manda Jess Panda. Don't know why, but whatever, it's cute. And so she does a lot of cooking. She does a lot of recipes on Instagram, and she does some natural hair care stuff too. But she has downloadable e-cookbooks on her website. And so go to her Instagram, check her out. Her food looks bomb. She cooks all kinds of foods, Southern food, international food, but it's all like kind of geared towards the Black person's taste palette, if you feel what I'm saying. So it's seasoned well, all of that. But she seems like a super cool person. I don't know her personally, but I've been following her for years and I've used some of her recipes and they've been bomb. Also, another thing is she sells her recipes individually too. So you don't have to buy like the whole cookbook. So like if you want her macaroni and cheese recipe, it's like $3. So go ahead and download it. So I think that's kind of cool. So just check her out. Her Instagram is Manda Jess Panda on Instagram.
That is the cutest name. And that is genius because I'm not the type of person that would use a whole cookbook, but I would download a recipe and pay for it. Genius. Okay, so my Black business that I would like to highlight is a luxury home and body boutique called Tucked Away Boutique. They have super, super cute things. So there's lingerie, there's actually like clothing pieces. It's very affordable, it's sexy, it's chic. So if you're in the market, no need to go and buy big brands. There are plenty of brands out there owned by Black people that could use your support. So you can find Tucked Away Boutique on Instagram. And you can also visit the website to take a look and see what super cute pieces they have. So Tucked Away Boutique, it is a Black owned business and I highly recommend it. Okay, so I was 23 when I got married. And I honestly can say, looking back, that I would not recommend that someone get married at 23 years old.
What? What do you mean?
I feel like it's too young. I feel like you don't really and truly know yourself. The man that you're marrying, if he's around your same age, is not really and truly going to know their self. And I feel like you need, well, I'm going to say not, I'm going to say, not going to say you, I'm not going to make it a general statement. I needed more life experience prior to getting married. Now, that's not to say that I have any regrets. I have no regrets at all. I love my husband dearly. I wouldn't change it for the world. But had I been able to fast forward my life and see some of the situations that we would encounter being so young, I would have advised myself not to get married so young. I honestly went from graduating college to being engaged to getting married, like literally boom, 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 boom. I never lived on my own. I never paid bills on my own. I never did anything on my own outside of living the college experience. But that's no real responsibility when you have your parent that's taking care of everything. So I would have advised myself that you're not ready. You're not ready to take on the duties that come along with being a wife, the mental and spiritual strength that you need to play that role in a healthy way. Now, I say that, but I'm not saying I was just a terrible wife when we first got married. But I think in order to just be more prepared for the trials that would come along and the spiritual growth that was needed in order to be the best wife that I could be. I think that would have been, just like it's gotten better as I've gotten older, I think going into it, I would have been a little bit more prepared. for the things, if we took us out of that early 20s and placed us in those situations now, I handle any situation that comes a lot better, obviously, with age and growth and maturity and spiritual growth. And so I feel like if I have a child, like, and they're like, oh, mom, I want to get married at 22, 23 years old, I'm gonna be like, no, you do not. You do not want to be married that early. I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like I could have used more experience on my own before getting married.
I have a completely different experience and a completely different viewpoint. Philip and I got married at 24, so it wasn't too far from, when y'all got married. But I really think that marriage, deciding like the person that you're going to be with, is all about timing. Like, I'm not one of those like romantic people that's like, oh, it's your soulmate and da 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 da. Your soulmate could be a number of different people. I won't say anybody, but could be a number of different people. And it's really about timing. I think if Philip and I maybe had waited longer, said, okay, we need to hit certain things first, or we need to be a certain age first, I don't think we would have ended up together long term. Like, it's about timing. And so, were we like immature early in our marriage? Like, of course, we were. I could say babies now because I'm not 24 anymore, but we were like babies then. But I feel like there is such a beautiful connection when you can grow up with somebody, when you can grow into your true adulthood, not just, oh, I've reached a certain age, so now I'm a grown up, but like I've reached a certain income level, I've reached a certain responsibility level, I've reached a certain like spiritual level. When you can do that with someone, and someone that is going to be there regardless, like not just like a friend whose commitment to you may be fleeting or whoever, but somebody that's dedicated to you and you can depend on through that process. I think that's a beautiful thing. And I think that that's helped Philip and I grow closer together. Like the fact that we can say we've been together, and when I say together, we've been having sex for 10 years now. Like, we weren't together when we first started. The Lord has forgiven me, so don't judge me. But we've been connected for 10 years now, and we are both 31. So I get what you're saying, and I think that that makes a lot of sense. And I also think if I were to be single right now, at 31, I could probably easily see myself single for the rest of my life. Like, yeah,
That's a bold statement.
I
The
know,
rest of
it
your
is.
life?
Yeah, I think so. I just think, you get in patterns, you get in the way that you want your life to be. You've established it on your own, and to inject somebody that has their own ideas about what life is supposed to be, their own set of goals, their own bills, their own responsibilities, potentially their own children. Like, you ain't got to be here, homie. Like,
I see you, but you say, so you would just be out in these streets just hunching at 31 years old? Because you ain't gonna not be having sex.
Somebody say hunching. I don't really like that term. That sounds very vulgar. But I mean, I would probably have a companion, right? Like a boyfriend or somebody like I dealt with. But like, I don't know if I would make the marriage commitment. I don't know if I would
So
do.
you'd be out here just committing adultery. Fornicating, that's the word I'm looking for.
I'm about to say cheating.
You'd be out here fornicating.
Fornicating.
At 31 years.
The Christian part of me says no, of course not. I wouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But the worldly part of me, right? The reality of it is potentially like, yeah. But
I think that's one of the reasons that regardless of what advice I would give myself, if I were able to speak to my younger self, I do believe 150% that marriage saved me. Because your girl was out here living her best life. Living her best life. Do you hear me? Like, first class ticket where I don't want to go. Okay. Listen, It's not funny. It's funny, but it's not funny. I'm telling y'all just don't know. Y'all just don't know. Listen, I don't even know if I could break it down in a different episode, but marriage did save me. And I, even with the mentality that I always wanted to do better, I still never made the 100% effort to do better. It's like in my head, Jet, do better, do better, do better. You got to do better. You got to do different. You got to make something shake, do something different. And then it was just like, you know,
Literally.
literally. So, yes, I am grateful for the timing that God made everything happen in my life. I really and truly am. Because if it weren't for that, I don't know how else God was going to save me, because we kept talking about it. I just was not heeding. Okay. Um, but I will say that I do agree with you in the sense that having the growth that we have, looking back at this point, is beautiful. It really and truly is, and it'll be a story that will be shared throughout a lifetime. Um, I also think we could still have that same beauty and that same story if we would have gotten married, when he was 30 something and I was 20 something. However you want to look at it. But I do feel like for my life and my story personally, that it was the right move, because and I was being laughing and being funny, but I was being serious. Like, marriage did save me in that sense of trying to make the right decisions in my life and the way that I wanted to live my life. And so I do believe that I wish the spiritual side of it um would have been heightened sooner. But I do understand that God puts us through certain things for a certain reason. And we wouldn't be where we are now spiritually if it wasn't for those tough times that we went through, where I couldn't do anything but pray to God. Like, I couldn't talk to Trey. I didn't want to see him, didn't want to look at him, none of that. And all I could do, and I couldn't even figure out what words to pray because I was so frustrated and so irritated with our situations and different things that we encountered. But it brought me so close to God that it was just like, you may not know what to pray and you may not have the words to pray. But I still fixed my lips to say, God, do something. I don't care what you do, just do something. And so looking back at that brings peace and joy in my heart, knowing that just those few words allowed God to work in our lives in a way that was, far beyond anything I could ever imagine.
I get that. And I think there is especially right now, it feels like, especially with Black women, Black millennial women, like it's this wave of like self-care, wave of like working through our trauma, like addressing who we are, like living in our truth. And I think that is beautiful, and it's nothing wrong with that at all. But I think that sometimes we get into a pattern in like our self-work where we think we have to work out all of our trauma and be this perfect person, this undamaged person that's worked through all childhood whatever and relationships whatever, and to be married. And I don't think that is, it's not, I don't
Really.
I it can be, can you be a person that has completely worked through all of their trauma, doesn't have any baggage, is like, I don't really think so. I ain't never met no person like that. Maybe they out there, but I ain't never met them. But I just think the things in my life that are attached to my husband, right? The things in my life that I've been through where my husband was in my life, I would not have come up to that period of, Avis, you need to grow, Avis, you need to elevate, Avis, you need to do better, had I not been married. being married introduces you to a whole nother side of yourself, right? Like a whole nother opportunity to grow and learn who you are. There are plenty of things that I do naturally because of my childhood, because of just who I am, my character, my thought process, that are not necessarily right, but I would not have known that they were not right or not conducive to being the adult that I want to be or being a Christian that I want to be had I not had my husband as a mirror to look at myself through. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
No, I totally get what you're saying, because for me, that's my selfish side. That was the having my husband is the reflection of me being able to see, like, you can have a tendency to be very selfish. um I have a sister, but we're 14 years apart in age. So I basically grew up as an only child in my household, and so everything was about me 24/7 all the time, no matter what. I grew up with amazing friends, high school, college, post college, that catered to,
catered, catered. I was wondering how you were gonna say it. Yep, catered to you.
yes,
Mhm.
catered to me. And so I being married then changes that,
Mhm.
because I have an amazing husband who does cater to me, but I can't neglect also catering to him. And had I not been married, I don't think I ever would have learned that lesson, because the people in my life, it was just that relationship where you knew I loved you and you knew I cared about you, but I didn't essentially like do the same action back, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? And not in an ugly way. It was just like I was the baby of every group, and everybody just took care of the baby. And the baby said, "Thank you." I mean, I don't know how else to put it. But
I don't
I
even know.
mean, isn't that true?
It's so true. And I don't know how we even got into the habit of doing that for you. Like, I don't even know what happened, but you were in our line, our friend circle. You were definitely, I don't know, maybe it's because you're small. Like that could be it. Like you're a small person. So it's like
I
I'm
think it I think it could be that I'm small, that I have all of the issues. I have all the allergies, all
oh.
I have all of the things that people have to think twice about when it
Mhm,
comes to me.
mhm,
The food allergies, the
mhm,
environmental allergies, skin issues. Like I have all the things, and so like it's like, oh, we got to be careful with her. We got to be careful with Jet, so like, oh, we can't do this, can't, like it's people. I think it's something that happened because you genuinely care. Nobody wants to kill me. Nobody's trying to out here trying to give me almonds or anything, and then it just becomes, when I put on my voice, I'm just like, hey, can you stop and get me a treat on your way back?
oh, that voice is so annoying. I just we are
But you just
completely
say
off.
yes in order to get off the phone. And so it's a situation that happens. And so with my husband, it was just another person right on top of that. But in that relationship, I did have to learn that I can't not also take care of him
Mhm.
you know so
Yeah.
you're right, it does, it teaches you a lot about yourself, and I think
Mhm.
that's one of the beautiful things about marriage is the fact that it teaches you so much about yourself, and about your relationship with God, more than the development between you and your spouse. It teaches you so much more about yourself, and I think that is a beautiful thing, and I wouldn't change that for the
Yeah.
world.
I just
Yeah.
can't imagine what type of person I would be if like I was single and like had my own space. Like I didn't have to clean up after nobody. I didn't have to help
I
somebody work through their own thing. Like I would be great. I'm sure. Like I would be fantastic. But I would probably be very selfish. I'd probably be very self-centered. Like I would I would I would probably be that person. And I wouldn't know that that was not right. Like I wouldn't have known. So yeah, I don't know. I get what you're saying though, but I don't think I would advise my child or anybody else to not get married at the age that they think they're ready to get married at. After me and Philip got married. And I have a great relationship with his mom, but she told me, she was just like, I thought y'all were too young. Like, and I was just like, but you got married young. So what are you saying? What? I get it, but I don't know.
And I would also say, in addition to that, I do believe that there's no true phase in life in which it's just like, oh, this is the perfect age to get married.
Mm-hmm.
So I do agree with that. And I may be contradicting myself a little bit, but it's honestly that's really just how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe there's a perfect age. Could I believe that more life experiences can help you in your relationship? Yes. And I think that's more so what I'm saying, which inevitably comes with age.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, I could have waited a couple more years, lived on my own a little bit, whatever, that would have been trouble. But nonetheless, I think that's more so what I'm saying is the life experience I could have learned. I would advise anybody to experience living on their own, paying bills on their own before they get married, in order to know how to do it to the best of your ability. Because my husband, he did it. He knew everything. He was Gucci. I'm the one that just, was thrown into it and, figuring it all out. So I think it's really just have some life experience before you get married, because the ultimate goal is for it to be death do us part. So you ain't getting no more life experience on your own ever in life anyway. Hopefully. That's my prayer. Because, we trying to pray that we die with our spouses
At the same time.
at the same doggone time. Nonetheless, I think my takeaway from this episode is that I think what I just said, I would advise my younger self to have some life experience before I got married. Um, does that mean I would have turned down an engagement or something like that? No. But I think that it could have been beneficial to my marriage and to myself to have that experience. But it didn't happen, but I wouldn't change it. So it is what it is.
I would say my takeaway is, and regardless of what age, what stage in life you are in, if you are engaged, about to be married, allow for growth in your relationship. Allow for change. Allow your spouse to change. Allow them to mature. The person that you marry on whatever day, on whatever year, is not going to be the same person that you have a year from then, 5 years from then, 10 years from then. Hopefully, some core things are the same, right? But allow for that growth. I think when people don't allow their partners to grow, don't want their partners to change, don't want them to be better, be different, that causes people to not recognize their partner, and that starts a divide. And so, whatever age, whatever stage you are in, allow for growth and development and change in yourself and in your partner.
Absolutely. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap up this episode with how we won at adulting this week. We all want to grow up and be adults when we're younger, but then it happens and the bills keep coming. The car note, the electricity, the water bill, it just keeps coming and coming and coming, and it never stops. So we want to celebrate when we have done the best that we can as adults.
So mine, it seems little, but it's kind of big to me. So there is something that I want to discuss with Philip, but the Lord is telling me to wait. And I'm waiting. Like, I'm not just doing it anyway. And so I don't know. Maybe it's not even a discussion that I need to have. It's just something something needs to occur for there to be a certain level of like growth and spiritual growth on both of our parts. And I know that it needs to happen. And I know that I am an important piece in Philip getting the growth that he needs and vice versa. And so I naturally, the way I function would be like just to talk to him about it. Like, these are my thoughts. This is how I'm feeling. Let me just da 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 da, right? But the Lord is telling me not to do it like that and to wait. And so I'm trying to be obedient to that and trying to um, listen to what God is saying. So when He does give me the green light, if He gives me the green light, He may not give me the green light, but if He does, I want to be able to hear it and like know that that's the green light. And so I'm just like being still in what's going on, and I'm gonna see where it takes us. But I'm doing that in obedience to what I feel like the Lord is telling me.
Awesome. Yes, listening to God and doing exactly what He tells you to do can be tough sometimes, but I'm proud of you for listening.
Thanks.
Okay, so I won at adulting. I have made a very conscious decision that I have a financial goal for our family. And so ugh, saying the words out of my mouth, I am making the conscious decision to one, not purchase anything that I don't need. Um, I made my last purchase this week, so uh but I am starting fresh, not purchase anything I need. And I have this goal for 6 months. So I'm not going to be unrealistic and say that it's just going to be the way I live from now on, because that's not going to happen. But for 6 months, I have the goal of not purchasing anything I don't need. And I have looked at some second job opportunities. Ugh, ugh. Saying the words out of my mouth made me want to vomit.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do it for the 6 months that we're doing this, because I have this specific financial goal. We have some big things that we're trying to do, and I just want to do it faster. Like, we can do it with what we've got, but I'm just not a patient person. So I want to do it like now, now. So what?
Impatient.
Me and the Lord talk about that constantly, but we don't talk about it in the sense of, Lord, give me patience, because every old person I have ever known has told me, you do not pray for patience, because if you pray for patience, He's going to send situations to test your patience. And I, my friend, do not want to be tested. Lord, just help me to stay in the moment that I'm in and not get ahead of myself. I don't need patience. Don't give me patience, because you're going to try to test my patience. So let me stay still. That's all I be praying.
So you think if you don't say the exact words that the Lord not gonna know what you mean? The Lord know what you mean. The Lord know
He
that
knows what
you
I don't want, though. He knows what I don't want. So I'm not going to your words have power. Your words speak life.
they
I
do.
do not want situations in my life that test my patience. I don't have time for it.
I can think of two in your life right now that are testing your patience that you didn't ask for, and you tried to circumvent your
Nagel.
question, circumvent your request of, I'm not going to ask for patience, but Lord, help me not get ahead of myself. The Lord already know. I'm not trying to rip you up. I'm just saying, whatever, you could have said it in gibberish. You could have said it in Spanish, and He still would have did the same. Girl, but okay. All right. Go ahead.
Can you let me live the way I want to live, please? And thank you. So, circling back to how I won at adulting, yes, those are two things that I'm working on right now. I honestly don't want to do the second one, but it is the quickest way to get to where I'm trying to go, where we're trying to go. So if it doesn't happen, then I know it wasn't meant to happen. I'm not out here just, trying to do any and everything. I'm trying to do something that makes sense, that's simple, and that can help us get to our goal. But if it doesn't happen, then, I know we can still do it, but I'm just trying to make it happen faster. So keep me in your prayers. Let the Lord lead me. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Black Millennial Wife.
So don't forget to like, share, and comment. Let us know in the comment section if you are married. Do you feel like you were ready to be married when you got married? After you got married, did you feel like you were ready to be married? And if you're single, let us know if you feel like you're ready to be married now. And if not, why is that? We would be interested to know, and we do our best to reply to all of our YouTube comments and all of our Instagram comments. So thanks again, everyone. Be on the lookout on Friday for our next episode. Thanks, guys. Bye.